What's up guys, my name is Kahan and today we're going to be talking about all the video equipment I use. So I guess the most important thing in my arsenal is my camera. This is not what I currently use. This is a Rebel T4i. I film skateboarding, scootering even, and even a couple of my first car videos with this. And this worked great, but quality sucks compared to what it is now. So now I use a Panasonic GH5 and that camera is awesome. It's been all over the internet, so I'm really not gonna talk about it, but some of the main things that I really like about it is it shoots 4K 30 and even 4K 60, which is awesome. But one thing it really does lack in is low light situations, so that's why I don't really film at night. Like compared to the A7S II from Sony, my camera is really not cutting it. So I use two different lenses. The lens I'm using right now on the camera is a 12-60 with a 2.8 f-stop. It's made by Leica. It's a great overall lens. Autofocus works great on it and it's stabilized through OIS. When I bought this lens, I took it for granted. This does not have OIS and it's just shaky as hell. So this is a great lens for photography or shots that are still. But if you're moving, this thing's all over the place. It looks crazy, but that's why I have two lenses. Probably the next lens I'll get is a wide angle lens. All this camera equipment has made me broke. Like I don't have money to buy another lens. Lenses are expensive. So another camera I use is a GoPro Hero 5, and it's a sick camera. I usually use it for exterior shots or any situation where I wouldn't want my normal camera to be, somewhere that would cause harm. I also use this for interior shots because it's wide angle. I don't really have any wide angle lenses for my GH5. So this works, but the quality is okay. It's 4K at 30, but there's just no depth to it or anything. It's like you could just tell it's a GoPro. So I usually prefer to use my GH5 over this, but in situations which would cause harm to a normal camera, I would use this. So it's a great secondary camera. So as far as memory cards go, I use a SanDisk Extreme Pro, which writes about 300 megabytes per second, which is a lot, but when you're using a 4K camera, it's writing down a lot of information, so you need something that can keep up with it. So I do use gimbals. I actually have two. I have the Ronin-Mx and the Ronin-S, but I've been using the Ronin-Mx lately because I realized the angles you get are way better because when you're holding it, the camera is this low. So everywhere you go, the camera is lower, so you get a lower angle. The Ronin-S, when you're holding it, it's at face height. But I mean, you can get really low shots that has like a flashlight mode and stuff, but you can't see the screen, which causes problems. Like you don't want to fuck up a shot and then get home and you're like, fuck. But with the Ronin-Mx, my setup, I have a big monitor. I can see exactly what I'm shooting, and at the end, I get a lower shot. And I don't know, I just like how you have a base. Both of them are heavy, and I don't know. There are other brands that are better, but the Ronin-Mx, Ronin-S, they're at a good price point that anyone can really afford them. I mean, if you're into camera stuff, I don't just buy one because they are kind of expensive, but they're at the median price point. Like they're not too high and they're not too low, and they're really good for what they are. So the monitor I use is a Atmos Ninja Inferno, and this thing's awesome. At least with my camera, you can shoot 4K 60 at 10-bit, which is crazy, but the file sizes it creates just fills up your computer. It's gigantic. But what I do use it for is to see if my video is focused. This has a high resolution and you can perfectly see if it's focused. But beforehand, I was using my iPhone and that worked just to gauge what you were shooting, but the resolution was low and it was just blurry. You couldn't see if you were focused. And then I used an aperture monitor, and that thing it actually broke on me, and then I just sold it a couple months ago. But that image wasn't fully crisp, so you couldn't really tell if it was focused. But this high resolution, you can see it perfectly. It's awesome, but it is expensive and it is very heavy. I have like gigantic batteries on this thing. They're not in it right now, but it's basically like a whole brick on my rig. Like I'm holding it and you're like leaning right. I'm just kidding, but it is heavy. My right arm is a little bit bigger from that. So audio wise, I have a couple of microphones. The first microphone I got was this Rode shotgun mic, and this thing, it's awesome. I've been using it probably since 6th grade, I don't know, shooting skateboard videos and stuff like that. It works. And then recently I picked up this Tascam DR40. Haven't really used it too much, but basically the idea with this one is I have this huge ass suction cup mount. You put this on the back of the car, and then you record the exhaust note. And it works, but I don't know. I always feel bad putting this on people's cars, or I'm actually very scared it's gonna pop off and then my microphone's gonna go flying, I don't know. And then what I just picked up now, I actually got today, is this RodeLink wireless audio microphone. But basically, I have it hooked up right here, and then it sounds awesome. So probably the most simplest piece of equipment I use is a tripod. I don't use it too often because I like moving shots and not stationary shots. But when I'm the subject of the video, I have to use one of these because I don't have a team or anything. But I think everyone should own a tripod. You never know what situation is gonna come up that you need it. That's why when I go on a shoot, I bring everything I have. You just don't know what's gonna happen. I also picked up a Joby today. The cool thing about these is you can set up your camera in a low angle and get unique shots that normally aren't seen. These are also famous for vlogging and stuff, but I don't know if I'm gonna be doing that. So the last piece of equipment I use is a good old skateboard with soft wheels. Thing is, when you're using a gimbal, your footsteps shows up in the shot. Maybe I have a trained eye or something, but you can tell when someone's shooting with just their footsteps. Using a skateboard, you're on a flat plane and it removes all the bumps and footsteps. I honestly don't use a skateboard too much because it's hard to control, pick up speed, or it's hard to do super small maneuvers, whereas when you're on foot, you can do whatever you want really fast. But when you're using a skateboard and a gimbal, it's super smooth. Hope you guys like this video. I don't really talk about my camera equipment or anything like that. A lot of people have been asking me questions, so I thought why not make a video. But I hope you guys had a happy new year, and the next video will for sure involve a car. So see you guys soon.